Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Purvis. Thank you so much for watching my video today. We are going to read a story today from the May 4th packet. If you have it, please go get it out at this time. If you don't have it, it's fine. You can follow along with me on the screen. 2 weeks ago, I read a story with you on a man named Sir Isaac Newton. Does anyone remember who he is? If you said he discovered gravity, you're correct. Way to go, silent cheer. That's right, he discovered gravity, which is the force that keeps us to the earth and keeps us from floating off into space. If you also said that he figured out how the planets move around, you're also correct. Way to go for you too, silent cheer. That's right, he discovered gravity, he also figured out how the planets move around. Other scientists came along later and they took what Sir Isaac Newton discovered and they kept making more discoveries and learning new things too, till now people can actually travel into space. Miss Bermudez read a fiction story with you not too long ago about Pete the cat going to space. That story was fiction, which means it wasn't true. It didn't really happen. People really do travel into space, and we are going to read a story about a lady named Sally Ride. Sally Ride was the first American woman to go into space. This is a picture of her here. Sally Ride always loved science and sports. In high school, she thought about becoming a tennis player. Her love of science won out, however. Ride went to college and studied physics, a branch of science. In 1978, Ride saw an ad in a newspaper for an exciting job, astronaut. The position was at NASA, the United States government agency that runs the country's space program. 8,000 college students applied. Only 25 were accepted. Sally Ride was one of them. Think about that. 8,000 people applied for this position, and only 25 got picked. That's a pretty big accomplishment in itself right there. While training at NASA, Ride helped develop a robotic arm to use in space. She went on her first space shuttle trip on June 18, 1983. She was the first American woman to travel in space. Riding on a rocket was dangerous and difficult. It took courage to fly into space. But when Sally Ride returned to Earth from her 6-day shuttle trip, she said, "It was the most fun I'll ever have in my life." Could you imagine that? Going to space, the things she saw, the things she experienced? Could you imagine how cool and awesome that would be? It's such an amazing experience. Ride left NASA in 1987 to teach science. She later started her own company, Sally Ride Science. She wanted to excite girls and boys about working as scientists. Sally Ride's courage and dedication to science inspired people around the world. Wow. If you could talk to Sally, what are some things you would want to ask her? What are some things you'd want to know from her? You might say, what's it like to go into space? Is it hard to become an astronaut? Did you like being an astronaut? There's so many things I'd want to find out from her. So you're going to write a friendly letter to Sally Ride. I'm going to show you some ways to get started on writing your letter. Letters should have 3 main parts. The first part is called your heading. That's where you write the word dear. Then the person's name. You can say Sally or you can say Miss Ride, comma. Now when you're writing a friendly letter, or any letter for that matter, the first line is your heading, dear, than the person's name. You don't put anything else on this line. So you need to drop down to the next line. And that's where you would write anything you'd want to say to her. You can write questions. You can just tell her how cool it was that she's the first woman to go into space. Whatever you want to say is your choice. I would encourage you to ask her some questions though. When you're writing a sentence, remember each sentence starts with a capital and ends in the proper punctuation. Question sentences end in question marks. Telling sentences into periods and exclamation marks. I'm not going to put anything here as an example because I want you doing your own. When you finish your letter body, then you drop down and you're going to have your closure. That's when you write the word from, comma, and again, nothing else on this line. You drop down to the next line, and that's where you sign your name. I can't wait to see your letters. When you finish your letters, share them with your parents, your family members, and you can share them with your teachers when you meet with them during your class meeting time. The last thing we're going to do before I let you go is we're going to work on phonics. We're going to work on the un and re prefix. Do you remember learning about prefixes before? If you said a prefix goes in front of a word, you are correct. So our target says, I can read words with the un and re prefixes. So you look here, I have a list of words over here. It says happy, true, sure, and real. I'm going to put the un prefix in front of these words. It's going to change the meaning of the word. So instead of happy, we now have unhappy. That means you're not happy. I was unhappy that I didn't get invited to the party. So this word becomes said true. Now it's untrue. That is untrue. The next is unsure. It means you're not sure. I was unsure of what to do. And this is unreal. It means it's not real. That story was unreal. Then over here, we have the re prefix, and re means again. So look at the words right now. We have mix, play, pack, tell. We're going to change the meaning of these words by putting the prefix re in front. So now it's remix. I need to remix up the colors. Replay. Can we replay that movie again? Repack. I need to repack my suitcase for the trip. Or retell. Can you please retell me that story again? Let's try some more. Reload. Review. Undo. Relock. Unlock. Refill. Untie. Unlucky. Let's read the sentences. Please reread the story before answering the questions. Which word in here has a prefix? If you said reread, you got it right. Way to go, silent cheer. Let's do one more sentence. Read it with me. I need to retie my shoe because it is untied. Which words in here have a prefix? If you said retie and untied, you got it right. Way to go. Congratulations. So one last challenge I have for you. See if you can make more words with the un and re prefix. Try to make 5 words with the un prefix and 5 words with the re prefix. Then try to make a sentence using one of your words. All right, thanks so much for listening to me. Remember, write your friendly letters to Sally Ride and try to make words with the prefixes un and re. Thanks, boys and girls. I miss you all so much. I know your other teachers miss you so much too. Bye.